In this video, we're going to be using special angle pairs to find missing angle measures. So we're going to start on page 31. We're going to do numbers 3 through 6 together. So in numbers 3 and 4, we need to find the angle measure. And they give us some information about some angles. In number 3, it says angle A is a complement of angle B. So we need to remember what complementary angles are. Remember, complementary angles add to 90 degrees. So if angle A is a complement of angle B, it means they add together to equal 90 degrees. It tells us that the measure of angle A is 36 degrees, and we need to find the measure of angle B. So like I just said, because angle A is a complement of angle B, we know that the measure of angle A plus the measure of angle B has to be equal to 90 degrees. Well, they tell me the measure of angle A is 36. So I'm going to plug that in for the measure of angle A. And now I just need to find the measure of angle B. I have an equation here. I can subtract 36 from both sides to find that the measure of angle B is equal to 54 degrees. Now you could have just did 90 minus 36 to get 54 and show that work. I wanted to write it out as an equation for later. All right, number 4. Angle C is a supplement of angle D, and the measure of angle D is 117 degrees. Find the measure of angle C. So again, we need to find a missing angle, but this time, angle C is a supplement of angle D. Remember, supplementary angles add up to 180 degrees. So this time, our equation will look like this. The measure of angle C plus the measure of angle D must equal 180 degrees. They tell us that the measure of angle D is 117 degrees, so I'm going to plug that in. And to solve for the measure of angle C, I need to, I don't know why I drew a line right there. I need to subtract 117 from both sides. I meant to do that. So the measure of angle C is equal to 63 degrees. 180 minus 117. So now we're ready to bump up the difficulty, and we're going to be finding angle measures, but notice I have variables now. So I need to think about what I know in this picture. I've got a larger angle, angle BAD, and it's broken up into 2 smaller angles. So I'm thinking I can probably use the angle addition postulate to come up with some type of an equation. I know that this small yellow angle must add with this orange angle to equal the larger angle. I'll outline the larger angle in green. We can use that to help come up with an equation. So I know that the yellow angle, the measure of the yellow angle, which I can call that angle BAC, and I'll highlight that for you. The measure of angle BAC plus the measure of the orange angle, the measure of angle CAD. Those must add up to equal the larger angle, the green angle, the measure of angle BAD. So I have my equation here, and now I can go ahead and I can substitute in what I know for each angle. They tell me that the measure of angle BAC is 10x plus 22 degrees. They tell me that the measure of angle CAD is 7x plus 34 degrees. Then I have to ask myself, do I know anything about the measure of angle BAD? You'll notice that the green angle, angle BAD, has a little box here that tells us it's a 90-degree angle. So the measure of angle BAD is 90 degrees. I now have my equation set up. I can go ahead and solve this. I see some like terms on the left side of my equation. I can add the x terms together, and I can add 22 and 34 together. 10x plus 7x is 17x. And 22 plus 34 is 56. We want to get x by itself. I'm going to subtract 56 on both sides. I'm left with 17x equals 34. I can now divide both sides by 17. And this tells me that my x value is equal to 2. Be careful, they don't want just to know what x is. They want me to find the measure of each angle. So I'm going to go ahead and find the measure of the unknown angles by taking my x value and plugging it in. So I know the measure of angle BAC, they tell me, is 10x plus 22. So if I plug in 2 for x, 10 times 2 plus 22 gives me 42 degrees. Let's find the measure of angle CAD. If I plug 2 in for x, I'm going to calculate 7 times 2 plus 34. And that gets me a value of 48 degrees. And I can always check my answer. Does this make sense? Does the 42-degree angle plus the 48-degree angle add up to equal 90 degrees? And the answer is yes. All right, our last one. Again, we need to set up an equation to solve for x and find some angles. So again, we can kind of think about using the angle addition postulate because we've got 2 angles here that make up a larger angle. So I'll use the same colors here. I've got this small yellow angle and this small orange angle. And together, notice they make a straight angle, this straight line. Let's come up with an equation here. I know the measure of my yellow angle, the measure of angle EFH, that's my yellow angle. It must add up with the measure of my orange angle, the measure of angle HFG, my orange angle, to equal the measure of my straight angle, this green angle, which makes a straight line. You could call this angle EFG. You can see from the picture that the yellow angle and the orange angle, they're a linear pair. Together they make a straight line. So now I can go ahead and plug in the information I know. The measure of angle EFH is 6x minus 5. The measure of angle HFG is 12x plus 5. And I got to think about, what do they add up to equal? Well, together they make a linear pair. They make a straight angle. A straight line, a straight angle, has a measure of 180 degrees. I'm going to solve this equation for x. I've got some like terms. 6x plus 12x is 18x. Negative 5 plus 5 is 0. I'm going to divide both sides by 18 to get an x value of 10. Remember, I need to go back, take 10, plug it in to find my angle measures. So the measure of angle EFH, my yellow angle, if I plug 10 in for x, I need to calculate 6 times 10 minus 5. And that gets me 55 degrees. And then to find the measure of my orange angle, the measure of angle HFG, if I plug 10 in for x, I need to calculate 12 times 10 plus 5. And that gets me a measure of 125 degrees. If I check, these two angles, 55 plus 125, do add up to 180, which makes sense.